Welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is your full live watch-along video commentary for Attack of the Clones Star Wars, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now guys, I know that this one is not one of people's, well, by consensus, a lot of people don't like this movie. But, I gotta tell you this, here's my confession. I saw this movie 14 times in the theaters. Easy explanation, guys. It was $5 to go see a matinee, and I didn't have anything better to do in the afternoons when this came out, so I figured, hey, I'll go check out Star Wars Attack of the Clones. I do like this movie, and I really do like the soundtrack to this movie. So, guys, I hope you enjoy this watch along with me and enjoy my commentary. Now, if you haven't watched one of these from me before, you know I can't show you the entire movie here on the side due to copyright reasons. But I'll do my best with my little tips and tricks to let you know where I'm at within the movie so you guys can follow along with your copy. Hey, that's a long spiel. No long spiels to get this thing off. Let's just hit the play button and we'll get underway. Now, guys, I have watched the DVD cut. I've watched the theatrical cut, obviously. I have not watched the cut here that's on Disney Plus. So I know that there's been some alterations to it. So, we're just getting underway, making sure that everything is proper here. I'll just adjust it for like subtitles and stuff, but we're underway. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, there is unrest in the Galactic Senate. Now, I'm not going to read all of this stuff, but I was a huge fan of the first Star Wars movie, Episode 1, when it came out. In 1999, so I knew that they were going to make the first, like the 3 episodes. So I was really hoping that Anakin was going to turn to the dark side in this movie, so that we would get like a full movie of him being like Darth Vader. But then this movie kind of revealed that that's not going to be the case. I was somebody who was like ardently following on message boards and stuff like that. Trying to get information about this movie, and I got information about some of the monsters in it and stuff. We'll take a look at that afterwards. And yeah, was it nightlynet.com or something? That nightlynet.org had like a good Star Wars forum that I always participated in. So here we are. Attack of the Clones. Oh, let's get into it. Where are we opening? On Coruscant. Okay, cool, man. Ship design. Sound design. Awesome. Okay, so we're with Amidala here, and she's arriving on Coruscant. They said senator, so she's a senator now. There's our first bit of information. Hourglass in the live chat says 14. Wow, the most I've done was 7 for Ace Ventura. Like that still holds up, man. Like, wow. Like, look at all the reflections on it and stuff. Oh, there's a starfighter, Naboo starfighter that now Mando uses, right? He's got one of those. And by the way, we're watching Mandalorian later on this afternoon, guys. So, yeah, that'll be kind of cool. Oh, is that R2? Looks like an R2. Yeah, it is him. Cool, man. Captain Typho.
I guess I was wrong. There was no danger at all.
Oh, no danger, huh? Oh. Ooh. Wow. Now, guys, even when I saw this the first time, it's like, they didn't kill Amidala right off the bat, did they?
I'm so sorry. I failed you, Senator.
I don't see how she failed. That was your job, though, wasn't it? To be the decoy for instances just like this?
This vote is very important. You did your duty. Corday they did hers. No.
Yeah, see, the new security guard, he called it out. So they knew something was up. So she's come back for a vote of some kind. Palpatine. He's still there. So, this would our first look at a CGI Yoda. Now, they've gone back and replaced him with CG in episode 1, but for most of us in the theater, this was the first time we've seen him as CG. Now, pay attention to this.
I think the captain
He's a political idealist.
So, see, you got two master Jedis that's immediately dismissing the possibility that it was Dooku. Ooh, Bail Organa, Jimmy Smits. That was great casting. And then Yoda's like, why are you suggesting this? Really, really. Okay, so we got our first look at Anakin here. Oh, Jar Jar. Okay. So again, people cringe at it, but he hasn't done anything here that made you cringe, has it? Has he? So we just saw him again in Mandalorian. Beautiful. Now, they were trying to say that he's still kind of arrogant, right? Derpy Entertainment, the editing is so bad. It's remarkable at how naive the council were. Yes, but that was the point. That's what Lucas said. And that Rose burned beside her. little bit of bickering there. Okay, so some of the subtitles are getting cut off here. I can't seem to adjust it. Yeah, that's too small. Be mindful of your thoughts. Yeah. Okay. Security. Out here. It's like a Mandalorian. So, Zam Weasel? Captain Typho is the new guy. Alright, I'm going to make one last adjustment to that. No harm, huh?
It's too risky. Besides, your sentence.
Possibly. Yeah, Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor had great chemistry. Like, it was good casting. It was a lot of it was script. Like the dialogue was clunky.
Because of your mother?
Your mother. What's going on with that?
Just being around her again is intoxicating. Be mindful of your thoughts, Anakin. They betray you.
Yeah. Politicians are not to be trusted. Okay, so we got another assassination attempt. So it is a good premise so far, right? Amidala is trying to be assassinated. Obi-Wan and Anakin get assigned to protect her. It's a good setup so far. This creeps people out. Yeah, the design of these slug worm kind of things. And if you hear the sound of them too, it's... Ugh. Okay, now listen to what they're talking about with Palpatine here. It's weird because there is good dialogue, but then there's also really clunky dialogue.
Besides, you're generalizing. The Chancellor doesn't appear to be corrupt.
Palpatine is a politician.
I have observed that he is
Very clever.
following the passions and prejudices of the senators.
Yeah. See? Obi-Wan said that he sees that Palpatine is smart. Now, this is kind of weird. It's awesome. But out of the two, for someone to jump out the window, you think it would have been Anakin over Obi-Wan, right? Because that does seem a little bit brash. I think that's rear projection. That was like pre-volume, right? The soundtrack here is great. This whole sequence blows my mind every time I watch it. And seeing it in the theater is worth the price of admission alone. Yeah. Now listen to this. Yeah, was it Puju is like fodder, bantha fodder, right? Or I think it's poop is what it means, right? It's like their version of the Star Wars equivalent of a swear word. Okay, so he sees him falling. I just like I think it's awesome. Again, I think a lot of this was rear projection still.
Oh, you know, Master. I could.
So can you see him there in the background?
Techniques as your which you would rival Master Yoda as a swordsman.
So that was just laying the groundwork. Like if he practices his wit, then he would be as good as Master Yoda as a swordsman, right? If he didn't practice his wit, he would be as good as Master Yoda as a swordsman. Okay, so a straight downhill shot. That's very Fifth Element-ish, right? Yeah. Sound design is great. So, we're just trying to...
Sorry, Master. I forgot you don't like flying.
Yeah. That's just awesome. And it feels like a ride, like one of those rides at like Universal Studios or something, right? Now this is interesting too. Watch what he does here. A lot of people miss this too. They drive through the lightning here, and Anakin gets hit by the lightning. See you? He gets hit by the lightning there, but he uses the Force to shake it off. I think that sets up what happens towards near the end. He thought that, oh, it's just electricity. I can, I've used the Force to get through it before. Like, and we just saw it, right? So there's an arrogance about him. Deep fried? So very subtly, he is using the Force in ways that are sort of questionable, I would say. Maybe, no, defense. Okay, so that big tunnel sequence there was supposed to be a longer sequence of them going through those tunnels. But just for pacing-wise, they cut it out. Also, here, in the soundtrack, in the original soundtrack had electric guitars in it. And at one point, you were supposed to see like a cutscene of them driving by like a band. And one of the band members were supposed to be in sync. So this shot doesn't look all that good. You can tell he's just hanging there by wires, right? But it's a quick one. Yeah. So they were supposed to pass like a band, and NSYNC had a cameo, and they even filmed it. But George Lucas felt like it would just take people out of the movie if he saw NSYNC in this movie. So again, you see him doing far out crazy things, using the Force here for strength. You could tell that he's just, ooh, changeling. He doesn't quite have a plan exactly as to what he's going to do. Okay, so he put the lightsaber in there. Did he plan to kill her? Obi-Wan caught his lightsaber. Yeah, so they're both crashing now. Oh, there was the hint of the guitar. They played like the first note of it and then cut it. But when I saw this, because I always loved seeing more of Coruscant, and this was giving it to me. Yeah. Yeah, very impulsive for Obi-Wan just to leap out of the window. He's very proactive in this movie, always rushes in. Yeah. Okay, so she runs into a bar, it looks like.
She went into the club, Master.
Patience. Use the Force.
Now, that's a fake beard. This was a pickup.
Yes, Master.
This weapon is your life.
Because they had...
Death of me.
He's going to be the death of him. Yeah. So that's foreshadowing. Why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me? Well, yeah, there were many scenes in this where they did pickups, and now his beard is back to normal there. Well, maybe it was in here where the band was supposed to be, but yeah, there was a couple scenes where they had to. I think they even tried a CGI beard on him at one point. And this movie has some really good deleted scenes for it too. I don't know if we can take a look at those. I don't know if Disney Plus has those. Oh, there's Ahmed Best, and that purple one there is George Lucas's daughter.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
And that's Elaine Sleaze Bagano was his name. The guy who said Death Sticks. Yeah, he was in The Matrix, that guy, that actor. Just a small cameo. And we get an Anthony Daniels cameo here coming up. Yeah, I think maybe it was here where the NSYNC cameo was. Ooh. Oh. There's Ahmed Best. Oh, we just... sorry, I missed the Anthony Daniels cameo. He was the one that just turned around. He's standing there at the bar. But I like that. Jedi business. Go back to your drinks. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Streaming. Can I call you back?
Bye.
Streaming. I'm streaming.
Bye.
Sorry, somebody called me there from a very long distance. Toxic. Oh, God. Shit. I left that on too long, didn't I? Okay, guys. In case I leave... Yeah, and that's going to be on too long. Damn. That distracted me. Shoot, All right. I left that on too long. Damn. Damn. So, we're going to have to go for a long period here of just leaving it like this screen, guys. Huh. Damn. Okay.
Until caught. This
Yeah. I'm going to probably have to upload this again later on and blur that out. Shoot. James, that was careless. That was really careless. That's one of the things. It's a dicey thing because it's a live stream. So he's here with Palpatine.
Will be invincible. I have said it many times. You are the most gifted Jedi I have.
So Palpatine is,
Even more powerful than Master.
he's playing into his ego there, right? He was like, he's trying to be supportive there, but he's like manipulating him even in that scene, right? There we go.
a flaw more and more common among Jedi. Too sure of themselves they are.
Yeah.
Even the
Yeah, so Yoda knows it, that they're blind. And that was kind of a slight there on Mace Windu at the beginning for saying that about Dooku. So it is peppered in there. Like, the story ideas are good. So, we got... Basically, she's saying, Jar Jar, be quiet. And this is the last but we saw it. We get to see Jar Jar, right? Or no, he shows up later in the Senate. This is the dialogue that's clunky that people don't like. So there were some droids there replacing the glass. He's trying to show off there. And here it is. costuming. Still, everything she wears in this is... creepy look, yeah. You see, just a few tweaks. You take some of that stuff out, where you don't show him making that creepy glare, and I think most people would be along with it, right? But it just, it was a stroke of the brush that's kind of like meh. The dialogue is always a bit clunky. Oh, there's Rose Byrne again. Good soundtrack too. And now we get the diner scene. Jawa juice. Wonder what that. No, thanks. Okay. So, he's got the dart that they took off from the cloners.
There is a Camino saber dart.
Camino saber dart. Lunch and
Wisdom.
Was that a hint at AI taking over things? Rishi Maeve?
Keep to themselves.
Kaminoans.
They're cloners. Damn good ones too.
So there was some deleted scenes of him going to like the Jedi archives and trying to find out what that thing is, and the archives said that no, they couldn't identify the dart. That's why he's here talking to Dexter. Because he knows, and they were just talking about wisdom, right? Knowledge and wisdom. But it just slowed things down.
Problem, Master Kenobi.
Yes, I'm looking for a planetary system called Camino.
Okay, so he's in a Jedi library here.
records are incomplete.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
And she's a Jedi. Again, just pointing out, reinforcing what Yoda said, even the stronger Jedi, they're not trusting their feelings to, like, they're too arrogant, right? They don't, this just goes to show that this is how and why Emperor Palpatine rose to power, because a lot of them just are too confident in themselves, right? A lot of them just, hey, well, why are you asking about this system that doesn't appear there? It's curious, right? She, as the Jedi librarian, she should have been more inquisitive there. Yeah. Are you allowed to love? And that is a good theme.
So you might say we are encouraged to love.
He's twisting some of the logic there to fit his own need, right? His own desire. And you hear the hint of the main theme there, Across the Stars. I like that. But yeah, that whole thing of like the Jedi can't love, it's a great concept. Oh, younglings.
And Master Obi-Wan has. How embarrassing. How
Embarrassing. Liam? There's people in the Star Wars universe named Liam? No, I think some of these kids, are kids of the actual members of the crew.
How can this be? A thought? Anyone?
Because someone erased it from the archive memory.
Yeah.
The data must have been erased.
Yeah. I just picked up on Liam, a tribute to Liam Neeson. That's what I thought, maybe. Meditate on this. I will. Yeah. So we're back to Naboo.
But now that I think back on it, I'm not sure I was old enough.
Oh, talking about her transition from being a queen to being a senator.
I think the Republic needs you.
I think like that was one of the few shots in the movie that didn't have any CGI of them walking along, because that was the real location. Now,
See any way through negotiations to bring this.
the old guy here, the old advisor, he wasn't there originally. They added him in. This guy, they added him in at the last minute. So when he's walking with them, he wasn't there.
To resolve this crisis.
We must keep our faith in the Republic.
Queen Jamila, I think is her name. The new queen.
In the meantime, we must consider your own safety.
What is your suggestion, Master Jedi?
Not a Jedi yet. Oh, yeah, hold on here.
Excuse me. I was thinking I would stay in the Lake Country. There's some places up there that are very isolated.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so there's even friction there between them. But he shakes it off, right? So he's not really walking with them there. Again, that's just George Lucas cutting in things that, like, you just wouldn't think that that was the case, right? Cool design, ship design. He's got these things that attach to it for hyperdrive. So here, Camino. Great sound design too. I like this music. I haven't given it timestamps. I'm sorry, guys. I've been sucked into this. 42 minutes. Wow. 40 minutes in already. So.
The Prime Minister was expecting.
That's a Camino in? Now, we saw... We've seen one of these races was a Jedi Master in episode 1, but they're not there anymore. And no, that's not the Jedi they're going to refer to here. Lamassu. This is one of the plot lines that kind of gets buried. So Obi-Wan doesn't know what's going on here, but he's playing along with it. He's almost shocked that they were expecting him. That's a common place in Italy, right? This is a very common shooting location for a lot of movies. I think Bond, Casino Royale shot here as well. It is a beautiful location, though. Here comes the big line that everybody seems to use as a meme. But I like this line because he's talking about Tatooine. He grew up with the sand, right? So I like that line, despite what everybody else says about it. So yeah, he knows about sand. So if they didn't do the creepy look before, then this would come across a little bit more romantic, I think. Start of the main theme. I shouldn't have done that yet. I think Across the Stars is definitely one of my favorite Star Wars themes. John Williams knocked it out of the park with this soundtrack. Actually, I probably got to tell you, it's maybe my second or third favorite soundtrack out of all the Star Wars films. So we get to see the clones. Growth acceleration. That's so weird, huh? Seeing them all.
And who was the original host?
A bounty hunter named Jacob.
A bounty hunter? His pay. Oh?
An unaltered clone for himself.
Unaltered. Okay. So a clone that doesn't have all this behavioral modifications and stuff. Very interesting. And now you see what's happening, right? This is the big reveal for, like, the clone troopers are the precursor to stormtroopers. Beautiful location. Everything in the background was CG though. And this had a lot more CG in it than you realize. Because there was a lot of flies in this scene that they took out.
Program. He was a few years older than that.
But actually, I think this is one of my favorite scenes too, because he talks about a precursor, like, he talks about a dictatorship here.
Smart.
You really don't like politicians, do you?
Yeah. Do it.
People don't always agree.
Well, then they should be made to.
By whom? Who's gonna make them?
I don't.
Someone. Palpatine? Someone wise.
Give to me.
Well.
If it works.
So you can see there, he's got some, like, his morals. But then it's shaken off as just kind of like he's joking around kind of thing, right? And now we get a full sweeping movement of the soundtrack. And there was a big longer scene of this too, where they were both riding on the same one. It didn't look good though. They look like big ticks. I think that's what they were trying to go for, because they were sitting in the grass where ticks are anyway. Be careful, guys. You don't want to tick. Okay. So they're falling in love. And that stuff I buy. I buy that stuff. What do we got here? Ooh, a whale. A flying bird kind of thing from underwater. Now that thing is called air hoss. Air hoss, I believe. That creature. Air hoss. It's cool that it came from under the water, though.
Is your father here?
Oba. Okay, so now that confirms it. The unaltered clone is Boba Fett. This is a curious scene too. This introduces us to Moira Morrison.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan.
Proud. I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.
Never made your ways,
Common line, right? Have you been to Coruscant? Possibly. Oh, look in the background. See the armor? I forgot that. Master who? So, Lucas put that shot in there for us to see. So he wasn't recruited by Sifo Dyas? Tyrannus. It is curious. So, Django is kind of like sniffing him out here, right? They're... Is it? But I like that. There's kind of like a battle of wits there to try to probe each other for information between Django and Obi-Wan there. Not to say too much, but they both kind of realize that, yeah, something's not right.
Pack your things. We're leaving.
I thought Tamoira, he was a good pick, Morrison. Aggressive negotiations?
Negotiations with a lightsaber.
Now this costume is one that George Lucas designed himself for Padme. And I think it's one of my favorite of all time. Using your powers. Again, he just wants to show off for her. Lifting a pear. Okay. And more subtext in the dialogue here too.
Days gone by when I even thought of you.
Yeah. So she's backing off a little bit.
I can't breathe.
Thought of not being with you. Can't breathe. Foreshadowing. Hmm.
I will do anything that you ask. You're suffering as much as I am. Please tell me. Listen to me.
No, you listen.
So she's resisting again. Hmm. Yeah. It is a good outfit that she's got on. But apparently the corset there was really tight. She complained about it.
I wish that I could just wish away my
Yeah.
feelings.
I wish I could wish away my feelings. That's clunky. This is the kind of scene that, as a director, you would love to workshop with the actors and let them hash it out.
We could keep it a secret.
Keep it a secret.
We'd be living a lie.
So Anakin suggests a lie. So he's willing to make sacrifices or like forget his training to get what he wants. He would be willing to make that sacrifice. He suggested it, right? Just goes to show that he's willing to go to that underhanded level kind of thing. But yeah, as I was saying, workshopping with actors and getting that, like, I believe that when you workshop and you have clunky dialogue like that, that helps iron it out and make it crisp because they get to interact as artists and say, well, maybe I'll try saying it like this. Maybe I'll try doing it like this. What if you do this and kind of thing? That helps iron out those things so it doesn't appear so clunky. But I don't think Lucas was not an actor's director. And that's very well known.
Assume anything, Obi-Wan.
So somebody's ordered these clones for the Republic.
Request of the Senate almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I like that look that Yoda and Mace Windu had there.
Him here. Question him. We will.
Yeah. So Yoda wants Jango Fett there so they can use like their abilities to question what's going on.
We could not see.
I think it is time we inform the Senate that our ability to use the Force is diminished.
What? So they are losing the ability to use the Force.
No.
Now that audio, her screaming was not in the original theatrical cut. That was not in the DVD cut. It was just him going, no, having a bad dream. But yeah, the thought of them not being able to use the Force. So the dark side is crushing down on them. It's oppressing their powers. It's so subtle though that Lucas doesn't allow it more time in the front there. And God, she looks beautiful. Wow.
Your presence is soothing.
Another nightmare.
She's suffering, Padme.
So he's having visions. I think that,
I have to help her.
so he's going to break his mandate. So he's breaking rules. He's suggesting lies and stuff like that. Not quite very much like a Jedi, right?
Hopper, get on board.
Now this fight was, I think it's awesome. Like, yeah, they can show him lifting off there. Wow. Just cool. Now, because of the rating issues, Lucas wanted this one to be still PG or something, like PG-13 or something. But the fighting here got cut down a lot. There were like chokeholds and backflips and stuff. That were really cool. Like here, there was a lot more of this kind of stuff, the hand-to-hand stuff that got cut out, which sucks because it was really cool stuff. And there was even things like he wasn't allowed to be dragged by one hand. It had to be both hands. It was weird stuff for the ratings, like to get it down to a certain rating. Otherwise, it's PG. It was too graphic and violence. But I mean, come on. Oh, not good. Yeah, like he had him up in. He grabbed him. Yeah, it was so cool. He jumped in the air and flipped him around in his legs and stuff like that. I'll show you guys photos of that after. Okay. So the Obi-Wan uses the rope to tie on to a bridge again, lower down, using the Force so that he doesn't pull his arm out of his socket, probably. We see him use the Force there to open the door. And Boba was in the ship getting it ready to go. Cool fight scene, though, man. Oh, and Django hits his head on the door there. I know that. I wanted that one though. I wanted when it lifted off there. I wanted to hear the rumbling of it take off like it was in Empire Strikes Back, because it's the same ship. It's the Slave One, although they rebranded it for the Mandalorian, or was it Book of Boba Fett? Yeah, Book of Boba Fett. They renamed the ship. I don't, guys. I'm always gonna call it the Slave One. So we're back on Tatooine. Okay, so where are we at? Watto. I like the fact that they used water again. Now the Huttese here that Anakin was using, apparently Lucas allowed Hayden to come up with these words himself. Not her. Moisture farmer, Lars. So this Lars married her. Mos Eisley. So, very interesting interaction. Good information too. So we are going to see the Lars in this. Sound design is great for these ships. Ben Burtt again outdoes himself. Oh, what's this? Now, yeah, we know that there's no sound in space, but it's fantasy. Whatever. Seismic charges. This is so cool. Yeah. I like the fact that you see it explode before we hear the sound. Yeah. Awesome. Again, we get an asteroid field fight in the second movie. Lucas was very on board with having things rhyme like a poem, he said. That each one has like a stanza that rhymes with each other. So this is very intentional by him to have like an asteroid fight, because Empire Strikes Back had an asteroid fight. And you'll see that there's certain themes that do repeat, which for some reason J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson didn't want to use those things in the sequel trilogy. They just... I'm not going to talk about that. Notice there's no soundtrack yet here either. It's just them flying. That's so awesome. Yeah. I think, yeah, that shot is wow. That's Star Wars right there.
We'll just have to finish it.
Now the soundtrack kicks in. Yeah, and that's something else too. George Lucas and John Williams had a great relationship where they could just communicate with each other and understand what the other was asking. And they both knew you couldn't have a soundtrack on there while the seismic charges were going off. But then when the soundtrack kicks in there, of course, it just kind of helps ramp up the scene. Ooh. So he faked his crash or his explosion. So they got debris on there. And we pan up. asteroid. He's attached onto it. So that just paves the way that Boba Fett is aware of that tactic, so that when that tactic gets used in Empire Strikes Back, he knows that play. He knows it. Because that's probably the first time that Boba's seen that play of attaching on to something. Bifer in the live chat says, hey, Bifer, how's it going? We're just watching Attack of the Clones. We're an hour and 10 minutes in. So just about an hour left in this movie. An hour and 5 minutes maybe. Just having some fun. So this is Geonosis. And those are Federation ships. Those bulbs, remember the big droid control ships? Those are the bulbs that were in the middle of it. So those will go up and go into one of those control ships. And I think that's one of the few shots that doesn't have CGI in it as well. Because the background was real. Matte painting, obviously.
Stay with the ship, R2.
Now this is where a lot of the script was different and they changed things in post. Because originally when they got there, C-3PO didn't have his plate on yet. He was still naked.
C-3PO.
And it was Padme that put the plating on him. But due to pacing, you got to make things tighter. Hello, 3PO.
You both? I've come to see my mother.
Oh, I...
Indoors. Master Owen.
Important visitors.
I'm Anakin.
Owen Lars.
Owen Lars.
This is my girlfriend, Baru.
Baru. Uncle Owen, Aunt Baru. Stepbrother. That's Joel Edgerton. Very, very young Joel Edgerton.
Lars.
Klieg Lars.
Shmi is my wife.
Okay. It's cool that we see this set again, though. And it's the exact same. Because I think they actually went back to the same location. And these two actors came back for the Obi-Wan series, who played Owen and Baru. Like, she's the same actress.
From the tracks, she was about halfway home when they took her.
They took her. Tusken Raiders took her. $30 went out.
After I lost my leg.
Okay. He lost his leg. And they said in the book, he lost his leg by one of those traps where they put the rope across the rocks, and he rode into one of them, and he lost his leg. That's in the novelization. Another deleted scene was you actually saw Joel Edgerton here. Was it when Anakin was coming up to here? He was saying, "Take my speeder, watch the shifting because it's kind of broken," which kind of sucks because anything more with Joel Edgerton would have been awesome. Look at the shadow.
Padme, you'll be safe.
His head, very Vaderish, right? But he's like, stay here. These people are good people.
I won't be long.
I wish there was more interaction between Anakin and Owen. That's why I wanted to see that deleted scene. Just more of them talking. Okay. Duel of the Fates. Beautiful shot. Yeah. So he's talking with Jawas to figure out where they are. Yeah, Beru was badass in Obi-Wan series. Yeah, she was. Glass. Probably one of my favorite parts of the Obi-Wan series, to tell you the truth. Okay, so we're back with Obi-Wan on Geonosis. Yeah, of all the deleted scenes, I think episode 2 had a lot of really interesting stuff that got cut. There were scenes with Anakin meeting Padme's parents and stuff like that. I think that should have stayed in this movie. So what's this? Hear that noise? Oh, it's a droid factory. Making droids. Well, they did say Federation ships, so Federation uses droids, because we saw the droid armies of them that they used in episode 1.
Sign the treaty.
Ooh, who's that voice? That sounds familiar. Who is that? So that was...
With these new battles.
Yeah. So those were definitely the bad guys.
I am quite convinced that 10,000 more systems were ready.
Christopher Lee. Techno Union Army?
Sign your treaty.
Banking Clan? Now, that's the same species that Darth Plagueis is supposed to be. From the species that the Banking Clan is. Darth Plagueis was Palpatine's master. So they're talking about these are the separatists. These are the ones that are trying to break away from the Republic. And Dooku is obviously leading them. With Newt Gunray, the Federation guy from the episode 1. I agree. More interaction with Owen and Anakin would make the murder of Owen and Beru under Vader's orders more stark and heinous. Yeah, it kind of sucks that they kind of got wiped out too easily in episode 4. My only thoughts is that maybe that was a contingency plan that they could have used. Like they had two bodies that they could have had stored up, but that's kind of gross. No, they wouldn't have done that. So he breaks into a hut, and there she is, Shmi. Same actress from episode 1. She came back for this. You look at it and you're like, my God, what were they doing to her? Like, were they...
You're safe.
Honey?
I'm so proud of you, honey. Hello.
Stay with me, Mom. Everything.
Yeah, I like that acting. He couldn't complete his line because he knew that she was passing. It's a pity Anakin couldn't force heal his mother. Yeah, that's something else too. That, like, if there was force healing, why couldn't he use it here? And he knew that there was things like force healing. It's just that the Jedi didn't train people in it for some reason. I don't know why they wouldn't, because healing seems like that would be a defense. And then the music kicks in and he looks up. He's angry. Yeah. Qui-Gon Jinn's voice. Yeah. Now, in the original script, the no part was supposed to be Anakin in the future saying no when he turns to the dark side, but they didn't have a quote from Liam saying no, so that wasn't Liam Neeson's voice, the no part.
Young Skywalker is in.
And I do like the choice of him not going, like, they could have shown him doing what he was in the novelization. Like, apparently he used the Force to, like, throw up all the tents in the air and cut people down. Like, I like how they were restrained in showing his anger there and leaving it for more of an emotional payoff later on here that a lot of people cringe at. We'll talk about it. So, Gina knows and has found him. In Tatooine. Okay. So his message is going to Anakin, and hopefully then he's going to transmit it to the council, because he doesn't have range to get there. And I kind of wish that Owen and Klieg, like, Klieg should have reacted a lot more to this. Your wife is gone. I wish Lucas allowed the actor to have a little bit more of a reaction to it than just kind of like looking down kind of thing, right? Shifting. Yeah. Powerful.
I will even learn to stop people from dying.
Wow. Hmm. So far, the scene's been awesome.
I killed them.
And not just the men. They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals.
Yeah. Now, he wanted to use the word hate there, but I would have cut that "I hate them" line out. And I would have... And that's where the scene ended in the theatrical version. This part got added on later.
I know I'm better than this.
And I agree with that part, that they should have left this part in. I'm a Jedi, I'm better than this. It just helps round out the scene. But if you cut out a few of those lines of dialogue, that scene works awesome. Like, really awesome. Because some of it feels a little cringy. Like, they're dead. Well, yeah, you don't need to repeat that line because you go on to say that you slaughter them like animals. Again, you allow the actor to workshop that, flush that out. I still like the concept of that scene quite a bit. There's two gravestones there. Who's the other one? The mother of them? And that's something else I don't like. Yeah, if there's force healing, and he knows that there's force healing, Grogu and Rey use it so easily. If they somehow put in that healing was a dark side ability,
I miss you so much.
yeah. If they put in a way that the healing power, the energy that you're using, yeah, if they explain that better in the prequels, it maybe would have been landed better. Obi-Wan. Okay. So look at his hair in this scene. Viceroy Gunray. Yeah.
The Commerce Guilds and the Corporate Alliance have both pledged their arms. Wait.
Battle droids. Droidicas? So look at his hair there. That's like one of the first scenes I think he filmed, so that's why he looks much younger in that. Yeah.
At all costs.
Protect the senator at all costs. Yeah. Isn't that the same button she pressed before?
Annie, are you just gonna sit here and let him die?
There are actually 3 gravestones, or are there 3? Maybe this is the grandparents of the Lars, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's a few scenes in here where his hair doesn't look right. Because, again, we saw that with Obi-Wan in episode 1, where they do pickups, and with the beard and stuff in this movie, where they do pickup scenes to make things run a little bit smoother. Where they had come back where they had already shaved off their hair or whatever.
Senate will never approve the use of clones before the Separatist attack.
Emergency powers?
We're such a radical
If only Senator Amidala.
Senator Amidala. So Jar Jar gets the idea to propose emergency powers. 3 tombstones belong to members of the Klieg's family. Greta Leflar's his parents share a grave, while his younger Edern, who died at age 14, had similar tombstones. Oh, okay.
Oh no, my friend. This is a mistake, a terrible mistake. They've gone too far. This is madness.
This is madness. This is another good scene. Wide angle lens. So this is Count Dooku, the first good look. Qui-Gon. So Count Dooku was the master who trained Qui-Gon Jinn? The truth. So the dark side has clouded their vision. Or Sidious. Obi-Wan's like, I don't know what you're smoking there, man. What's going on here? You seem to have a lot of information. Right? So what was he getting at there, though? He wanted to recruit Obi-Wan and go against Palpatine? Because he's the bad guy, guys. So, yeah. What was Dooku up to there? But yeah, he mentioned that the dark side of the Force was clouding their judgment to see things that are going on. Emergency powers of the Supreme Chancellor. The Chancellor seems to be getting very, very strong. Very powerful. Lay it down, huh?
And as my first act with
So then that's what the clones were for. Now I would be very suspicious of the... Like now that they know that there's a clone army there, Yoda and Mace be like, how could you not say that he's like suspect number one kind of thing, right? Yeah, notice the first movie was called Phantom Menace, and this one and then showcased Palpatine a lot, like the Darth Sidious character. And we haven't seen him yet in this movie, right? Yeah, there he is, looking very young again. But as I said, this is like one of the first sequences that they filmed with this ship. So they're in a steam vent of some kind? Timestamp, where are we at? 136 already? Wow. Yeah, this final act, once the clones come in, this whole arena scene that comes up, once it picks up to there, the movie just goes by like... Trivio and R2 arguing with each other. Maybe Dooku would suspect Palpatine would see him as a disposable soul, probably right again. He doesn't like to defeat Palpatine. Yeah, he wanted to up Palpatine, overthrow him. So he's just cutting them down there. Okay, so this whole droid sequence was tacked on very late in the production, but I like it. I think it's cool. I know that Natalie Portman didn't like this. Because originally they landed, yeah, her doing all this kind of running and ducking underneath stuff, because it was just like it was all green screen and blue screen, so it's kind of like there was really nothing there. She just had to act like there was stuff there and stuff, and but I like it because it's just George letting his mind go and be creative. Originally they landed and they get captured, and then they have a couple scenes with Dooku in kind of like a confrontation, kind of like, "Oh, you have us now." And instead of all that kind of boring stuff, they put in this destroyed factory sequence. Some of it was a bit much. Like, that's very, very cartoonish. And our reveal that R2 can fly? Why didn't he fly before, though? And that's what people were saying. Why couldn't he fly in the original trilogy? Now, they made one mistake here, I think, with this. Like, all of this stuff looks great, but right after this, they're in a scene where, basically in the old version, when they were just going to the council in front of Dooku and getting sentenced to death, they were being told that, oh, we're going to kill you now. So you don't really get that in this, that, oh, you're going to be killed now kind of thing, right? This is just more whimsy than anything. And I like, you can see their weapons. Force theme. Anakin using the Force, throwing things at people. Very Darth Vader-ish, right? Now, this is where a lot of people thought that he would lose his arm. Which I think maybe they should have. It would have made it feel a little bit more dire, but I guess, I don't know. So Padme's stuck in one of those things. One of those containers. You see her there? R2's coming in for the save. We see Anakin do some more Jedi stuff, like using the ability of foresight to bounce out of the way of some of these things, right? Oh, there. Obi-Wan. R2 saved her. Oh, cut his lightsaber.
Obi-Wan's gonna kill me.
Okay, so they're caught. Yeah, they I do like that scene though. But now that you know that originally it was just going to get them being sentenced to death, this scene makes a little bit more sense.
I'm not afraid to die.
Right.
Each day since you came back into my life.
What?
You love me? That we would be forced to live a lie. And that it would destroy our lives.
I think our lives are about to be destroyed anyway.
So that scene plays a little bit differently now that you know that information, right? That they were being sentenced to death. In the Droid Factory, you didn't get that sense of direness there. But this is my favorite shot in the movie. Them coming out. And you hear the grand theme across the stars. And you see the arena. Yeah, Obi-Wan and Anakin look at each other. But yeah, that scene plays a little differently. That you know that, right? I still like it, but there's that clunky dialogue. I've been dying a little bit each day since you came back into my life. Yeah, cut out that line. You don't need that line in there.
retransmitted it just as you had requested, Master.
Yeah, good job. So Padme put a little pin from her, what was it, wrist, and now she's starting to pick the lock. So this was a mixture of miniature set with CGI. Like, they actually built this whole arena, but it was miniature. Out of, like, styrofoam. It was awesome. It was a big set, too. So here are our monsters. That's the Reek. And one of the first leaks that came out was the Reek of that monster. That's the Acklay. Kind of like a mantis kind of thing. A rat mixed with a cat kind of thing. That's a Nexu.
Feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about this. And you hear the drum in the background. I like that. Dun, 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 dun. It's definitely 1 to 5. She seems to be on top of things. So just concentrate. Ooh. Yeah. That's very Jedi-like. Being calm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. Scratched her down the back. That's got to be painful. And of course, it rips off her shirt. So it's whatever. Yeah.
Shoot her or something.
She can't do that. Shoot her. I'm sure she can. Okay, so that mantis monster is very strong. Knock that over. So he's using the Force here to try to tame it. Remember, the Force works on weak-minded things. The creature design was pretty cool. Yeah, smart. Using one of the monsters to fight the other one. Okay, whatever. Again, I think that was a pickup shot of Obi-Wan.
Jungle, finish her off.
Battle droids. Destroyers, right? This is a cool shot. I like this shot. Yeah, the top, them all surrounded. Mace Windu? Yeah, are you doing all Star Wars 9? 1 through 9? No, we won't be doing all. We're just doing the prequels here. Purple lightsaber, eh, guys? This party's over. Now, if you were worried about the Sith before, why didn't you send all these Jedis to Naboo? Figure out who actually captured Darth Maul and ask him what's going on. Again, there's that hubris there, right? Ooh. Yeah. Here it comes. Yeah, watching them all come in with their lightsabers. Awesome. Moving. Yeah, I like those pulse weapons that they have. How it kind of pulsed out and pushed that one Jedi back. Yeah. Boba's watching on. Action. Yeah. I like how he just looks back and deflects one. Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson loved doing this stuff, right? If you had to choose with one of your favorite of the prequels, 1 to 6, you had to choose Return of the Jedi because it gives potential? Huh? Well, sorry, we just missed there. Jango shot a Jedi, and the Jedi didn't have enough foresight to block all the shots, so Jango killed one. Now, he gets trampled. And you can see his jetpack was starting to short circuit there, right? One shot takes it out, yeah. His head fell out there. His head fell out in the shadow. But Mace Windu dispatching him like that, I felt like that was awesome. Because, yeah, he's a Master Jedi. He's not going to toy with him. Kit Fisto, right? He's, that's Kit Fisto. He's one of the ones that can swim. He can breathe underwater.
This a diplomatic solution?
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
So again, aggressive negotiations and diplomatic solutions. That's why they were hauled up in front of the council, so she could find like a diplomatic solution. And the accolades dispatched. R2. If you had to choose with one is your favorite or the prequels, 1 to 6, I have to choose Return of the Jedi because, what, out of the 6 films, which one is my favorite? Obviously, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. Out of the 6, out of all of them, Empire is my favorite. And then probably Return of the Jedi. Then New Hope. What did I say? Didn't I do a ranking video for it? If I haven't done a ranking video for the Star Wars yet, I thought I did. Wide angle lens.
You have fought gallantly, worthy of recognition in the arc.
It is finished.
Dooku. Then
You see Shock T behind there. She's the same species as Ahsoka. We also saw the blue Twi'lek Jedi that we see in episode 3. So Yoda's there, and the clones. Oh no, they're attacking. Watch it out. Yeah, the clones are attacking us. I don't know why they named it like that, but whatever. And there was a big other side mission, too, of Ki-Adi Mundi was supposed to go to the droid control ships and knock some of them out. But they cut that. He's right there beside Mace. He was a lot of him going to a control ship and knocking out all the droids again. But they felt like that would have been too repetitive from the first one. Uh-oh. So they're okay. And there's Boba picking up Jango's helmet. His head didn't fall out because we saw it in the shadow that his head fell out.
Rally more systems to his cause, he will.
That is such a cool shot. And the sounds of them, of the ships, really cool. Okay. So, War Room.
A huge army. That doesn't seem possible.
They're not translating what he's saying there in this. Yeah. Because I could have sworn that they did translate what they said in the theatrical version. Now, this is a decision that I never agreed with Lucas. All of the clone troopers are CGI. How would it really have been that difficult to create, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 costumes for the clone troopers and use them? Because at times it just looks a little too much. And I know he was trying to push the envelope, but I would have at least created at least some practical CG, practical clone troopers. Like that's like some in shots like that you can tell it's a CGI character. And for me, I found that a little unnecessary. But all this stuff looks really cool. Like the rolling things. Yeah, awesome. Oh, see what's in the top there? That red thing? Yeah, they're not translating it because he's saying we got to get out of here or they're going to kill us. That's what he was saying. Yeah, I'm sending my warriors to hide in the catacombs. They must not find the ultimate design weapons for our ultimate weapon, which is the Death Star.
Take the designs with me to Coruscant. They would have been much safer there.
Yeah, Death Star. Which kind of makes me, like, from Rogue One, we saw that it was humans that was working on the Death Star. Why didn't we see any of the Geonosians while they were building it in Rogue One? Also, we know that now from Andor, humans were also making parts for the Death Star. No Geonosians there. And I like the design of the Geonosians, how they run. They look like, I don't know. Look at them run there. They kind of like scoot around on the ground. So Dooku's out of there. And Dooku was originally in the script. It was a female. It was going to be kind of like Asajj Ventress, a female apprentice. But Lucas scrapped it because he really wanted to work with Christopher Lee, which is no problem there. It's just kind of like, it would have been nice to have seen a female Sith, which I think we will get eventually in The Acolyte, a TV series that's coming out soon. But and then originally George Lucas's scripts for the sequel trilogy, it was supposed to be another female Sith. Darth Talon was supposed to be in the sequel trilogy, but Rian Johnson took it like this. Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams took it like this and said, "No, we're not using that." It's like, what are you guys doing? Anyway, okay, so they can see
It's Dooku.
Dooku getting away. Now this part is a little far-fetched. I mean, how fast are they going there? 150, at least 200 kilometers an hour. Her just falling out like that. I know it's sand, but it's still gonna hurt. Like the scripting here is a little clunky.
Lower the ship. I can't take Dooku alone.
Okay. It's translated in my copy. We must order a treat. Okay. Art glass. Yeah. Maybe it's just the settings that I have. So Yoda's sensing it there, that there's going to be a conflict. So we're coming down to the big climax here already. 204. Yeah. So Anakin wanted to stop, but he's got no patience for this now, right? He's worried about Padme.
You're gonna pay for all the Jedi that you killed today.
No. No.
No!
And he got hit by the lightning. Now, I wish they would have, like, he thought maybe he could work through the lightning, right? Or maybe he wasn't expecting it. I like that, though. Obi-Wan knows. I don't think so. And I think Dooku's lightsaber hilt is probably one of my favorite designs. I like how it's curved.
You disappoint me. Yoda holds you in such high esteem.
They're going to get a transport. Yeah. I like how Dooku was looking like, that's Christopher Lee. Like, that's the power of using an actor like Christopher Lee. Like, how menacing he looked there when he was fighting Obi-Wan. That's cool. Now, I'm going to iterate something here. I'm going to echo again when we watch episode 3. George Lucas did not want to have all the lightsaber fights look the exact same. So he was trying something different here with just like the lights going around and stuff, which I think looks pretty cool. But a lot of people didn't like. And there's his arm. Finally gets chopped off. But yeah, he wanted to try up different things with the fights. He just didn't want to repeat the same kind of style of like high choreography with like the Darth Maul fight and stuff. He wanted to try out different things there. So that, yeah, there was a little bit more visually artistic. But I liked it.
You have interfered with our affairs for the last time.
In fact, if I could get a replica of Dooku's lightsaber, I think that would be one of the first things I would get. So, yeah, you can't hit Yoda with using things like that. And I like the fact that they did this, because originally Lucas just wanted to have Yoda come running in and light up his lightsaber right away.
The dark side I sense in you.
I've become
powerful than any Jedi. Yeah, that's a cool shot. Lightning on lightning. So Yoda knows about it. He knows how to defend against it. He kind of like absorbs it.
our knowledge of the Force.
Yeah. So they can't use the Force to hurt each other.
By our skills.
The only thing left to fight with is with a lightsaber. Yeah. Wow. I like it. He's smaller, and you think, oh, it's such a small target, it would be easy to hit. But yeah, he's bouncing like off the walls and such. It's not a long fight there. This is just the beginning. What? Ooh. Imagine Grogu lightsaber battle. Yeah, when he's younger. So Yoda had to stop there to save Obi-Wan and Anakin. If Dooku really wanted to attack Yoda, why didn't he use it there? Maybe because, I don't know. Curious. But here comes Padme. Open fire on the ship. And they're away. Was it the solar sail? We've seen this kind of a ship design in Star Trek before, right? And he uses back to the cane. Yeah, I know some people are like, he's Yoda. He doesn't need to fight with a lightsaber, but they just established that they couldn't attack each other with the Force. So you got to use, well, the Force and your lightsaber battles. I do like that ship design, though. It's pretty cool, though, eh? Yeah, I like to throw down with Yoda there. And we'll talk more about the Yoda fights, too, when we watch episode 3 next week, guys. Next Wednesday, we're watching episode 3, and then that'll bring us nicely into Clone Wars, which we'll pick up a series. We'll be doing full series watch-alongs for Clone Wars, because I want to watch Clone Wars before we get into Ahsoka. Because I need to know what happened. I never seen the Clone Wars series, so... Oh, there's the Emperor's theme. Yeah, to think about it. The first movie is called Phantom Menace. We see Darth Sidious, the evil Emperor, quite a bit, and we still haven't seen him in this movie. We've seen Palpatine. But, oh, there he is. The Emperor. Master Sidious.
Welcome home, Lord Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. Okay, so Dooku is Darth Tyrannus.
Excellent. Everything is going as planned.
But yeah, and look at that. What was that? 10 seconds of screen time that he gets in this movie? That's not a complaint. It's just...
Feel right.
Join the dark side. Dooku has.
So yeah.
I agree.
Only after all this you realize that you have to keep an eye on the Senate. Okay. Victory.
Victory, you say?
Come on. Victory.
Begun. The Clone War has.
Yeah. So that's why. And these shots are all awesome. Like when you see the shot of them all loading in, they show that in one of the first teasers, like that. And that's grandiose. That's big and epic, right? And then there's the main Empire theme. And then they ramp it up another notch. And who are we zooming in on? Palpatine. Again, just like the end of the first movie, guys. Remember I told you the soundtrack was just a sped up version, a happy version of the Emperor theme? We're ending with the Emperor, or the Empire theme here again. And Bail Organa was kind of like, he was angry there. He only had one way to show you that he was upset, and he pounded the railing there. So they're getting married. My cousin in the theater was like, what is that? Because he thought he would have like a normal hand, because we've seen that they could put bionic hands on rather quickly. It's like, what is that gold thing? But it's mostly all music here, guys, so it's kind of hard for me to use this soundtrack. But I think it's an okay way to end it, of them getting married. And then, as I said, there's a lot of stuff in here that, with just a few tweaks, you can get away with it being pretty cool. So R2 and 3PO are there with them. Directed by George Lucas. Okay, guys, that's episode 2. Awesome. Thank you for joining me on that. I know that we had a few hiccups, but yeah, produced by Rick McCallum. Great soundtrack, too. I really enjoyed that. Okay, so here's what's going to happen, guys. In just over an hour, we are going to be watching Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 6. So, and come join us next week to watch episode 3 with us. And we, if you enjoyed like all my intake, like all the stuff that I have on the side there of like me adding in my knowledge of what happened in these movies, by all means, come join us for that, because that's a lot of fun for me to talk about this stuff. Okay, so as I said, one of the early pictures, which I don't have pulled up right now. Let's see if I can find a copy of it. Whoops. It was just on one of the forums, they gave it was not even a colored version of the reek of this monster. It was sort of like this, but it was just kind of like the outline of it, and that's all we got. And I thought it was going to be green, so when it was red, I was kind of like, oh, that's not what I was expecting. But anyway, that's what I got from the forums. That was like the first thing that I got from episode 2, watch-alongs. So, what else can you find here? Oh yeah, Super Mario in the theaters tonight. Mando's at 1. I'm going to see Super Mario at 3:30 today, guys. So around 6:30, 7 o'clock-ish, my straight out of the theater reaction for Super Mario Bros. Will be up on the channel. And what else can you find? Villa del Belbianello in Italy is where they got married. Okay. What else can you find here? Well, on the channel, tomorrow we'll be watching Survivor and our Super Mario review. Movie news will be back tomorrow. Friday's schedule is a little bit filled in. We'll be doing more movie news. Actually, I think we'll be doing our horror stuff on Friday. So, yeah, because it's a weekend. And then I got to cook stuff for family stuff. So, Saturday, there will be no show. Saturday, there'll be no show on the channel. But we may do stuff on Sunday because it's a long weekend, right? What else is on the channel? Well, we do, if you like these watch-alongs, we do Murder Mystery 2. We did The Menu yesterday. And we did Attack of Clones. Phantom Menace is up on the channel right now too. Join us in an hour for episode 6 for Mandalorian. I'm looking forward to that. Tomorrow, episode 6 of Survivor. So come join us for that tomorrow. And the new poll is up on the channel right now for Grumpy Man Reacts next Tuesday, guys. Next Tuesday is Grumpy Man Reacts is back for a kids movie that I've never seen before. So you got the choices of Inside Out, Frozen, and Moana. That's up on the channel right now. Go vote in that poll. And yeah, we watch horror movies as well. We watch The Ritual. We do a horror weekly roundup that's normally on Saturdays because it's a long weekend, guys. And I got family stuff to do. It'll be this Friday we'll do our horror weekly show. And we do Monday and normal Fridays we do movie news. And yeah, you can check that out there. I just got to quickly update the poster. And hopefully that added in my, there it is, right there. Okay, so that is a screenshot of the Obi-Wan Jango Fett fight that went on longer. And as you can see, like, yeah, he jumped up in the air and he grabbed him with his legs and then slammed him down to the ground. So they actually did film all this stuff, but because of like the issues of ratings and stuff, they're saying, well, that's too violent. You can't show kids like that. And even like the headbutt. You remember Django headbutts him. They were like, that's the furthest that they could push it. So him being slammed like through the legs and stuff, that was too much, which sucks because that looks like it could have been really awesome, right? And that was one of the early shots too that I got from the forums for episode 2. Cool stuff. Cool stuff indeed. As you can tell, guys, I'm somebody who's not as harsh on this film as other people. It's got a good soundtrack. It's got really good story ideas in there. I agree with the clunky dialogue. There's some changes in there that if you just got rid of one of the bits of the dialogue, the scene would work a little bit better. If you got rid of that creepy stare that he gives her. And I would have left in some of the deleted scenes, like when he meets her parents. Maybe I can pull that up on the YouTube here while we're just talking, because I felt like that scene added a little bit more humanity to the scene, or to her character, and of course, the more Natalie Portman that you can get, it's always the better in my books. That's what I say. So. Yeah, there was a scene here. I'm not going to watch it all with you guys because, well, we just don't have time for that to watch all the deleted scenes. But yeah, they go to her villa there in the city of Theed, right? Is the Naboo capital, Theed. But she comes in, she meets one of her sisters, and they're like, "Who is this guy? This is Anakin. Oh, and is he a friend or is he like a friend?" So I felt like this scene really added a lot more to them building up liking each other. So this played before they went and kissed, right? So this scene allowed her to like internalize how she's feeling about him. And of course, when he meets the parents are like, how much danger is she in? And Anakin doesn't lie to the father, and he says like, yeah, she's actually in quite a bit of danger. And these parents, you see these actors again in episode 3 in the funeral scene. So that's one of the other reasons too why I would have kept this scene in, because it just adds that other layer. And this is her sister here. This is Sola, Padme's sister. So Sola out there is Luke and Leia's aunt. That's kind of cool. And that's something that I felt like they could have brought that around too. But yeah, they're just a kitchen scene after they're like bugging her that she doesn't have a boyfriend or something like that. And she sees Anakin talking with the father outside and stuff. And I like this scene a lot because then when she goes in and looks at him, she's like,
our relationship is strictly professional.
Yeah. So she's like, And the mother's like, yeah, I think, so that scene plays before they go to the lake and she decides that she's going to kiss him. So again, that scene being left in helps flush things out a little bit more. So I agree that some of these deleted scenes should have been put in. And now that you know all of this stuff, you can go back and you're like, well, maybe episode 2 wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And that's what I hope you got out of watching this movie with me, because there's some more value in there that, yeah, it's not quite as bad as you remembered it. And there's some really cool stuff in there too. Like look at this costume design, her hair, her makeup and everything. Really cool stuff. Yeah. That's episode 2, guys. Come join us next week for episode 3. I'm really looking forward to that for sure. And as I said, just in about 50 minutes, we'll be watching Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 6, the Bryce Dallas Howard episode, that's all I got from episode 2. In case this gets blocked, which I think it probably will, it'll get re-uploaded later, and we'll have all the comments saved here anyway. Thank you very much for the 10-pound live chat badge, Hourglass Vikings. That's always cool. You say, I always thought anything goes in a fight as long as there's no blood. Well, you thought that too, but the rating systems were back then were different. Rating systems evolved over time, so the same standard that they have today was totally different back then, right? And really different back in the 60s and 70s, 80s and stuff like that. So that's how it worked. Okay, so yeah, as I said, later on today, Super Mario reaction, and then Mandalorian in just a little bit. All of this is part of a playlist, guys, up in the cards. You're watching Mirror Domains. Thank you for joining me. Bye for Hobbit, Hourglass Vikings in live chat, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.